You're about to enter the Atomic Voodoo Lounge, New Stanton's one and only surreal dive bar, bringing you beauty and magic and terahertz tragic. I'm Maxwell Vegas, writer, poet, musician, and author of the soon-to-be-published novel, New Stanton. Descend with me into the static buzz of late-night radio, where words and music swirl through neon dreams and drift like cigarette smoke out over dried-up, prehistoric seas. Tonight, the Atomic Voodoo Lounge podcast and Heavy Sixer Productions are proud to present New Stanton Prep, sections 1, 2, and 3, where I reimagine Harold Dean as a 10th grader who wakes up in a strange school. New Stanton Prep. Because there's a little Harold Dean in all of us. 1. Ever wake up in school? Not like you fell asleep during some boring lecture, but like you just woke up and you were in school. And the school wasn't your school or any school you'd ever been to. You just woke up and you were sitting across from some bald guy tapping a red binder. One long finger just tap, tap, tapping. Well, yeah, it happened to me. Harold Dean, student unextraordinaire, a bundle of bad habits wrapped in a school uniform that made me look more like an undertaker than a 10th grade student. Really, what school kid wears a skinny black tie, white shirt, and black suit? Oh, and the guy sitting across from me, that was Dr. Vine, sinister principal and gatekeeper. But more about him later. What really freaked me out wasn't just the idea of waking up in a strange school before a strange principal sitting in front of a strange window, but the sky behind Dr. Vine's bald head. Night, day, morning, evening, whatever time it might have been, the sky shone with an eerie glow, just jumbled electronic snow, throbbing radioactive interference like a TV screen that wasn't broadcasting anything. Excuse me, Dr. Vine? Why am I here? You're here? Well, because you're here, he said with another tap of his bony finger. Yeah, but why? I'm a little confused and I don't feel very well. Outside the window, a green flare pulsed across the sky, backlighting the principal's skull with an electron halo. Dr. Vine exhaled a long breath and pushed his chair back. His head never moved, only his body, as he produced a mirror. Now, why a principal would have a mirror under his desk was a mystery, but it certainly wasn't the biggest. There was that thing with the sky, and of course, waking up in a weird school kind of topped the list. Perhaps, Mr. Dean, you don't feel well because of this, the good doctor said with another snort and held the mirror up to my face. And there I was, all right, Harold Dean, sporting a swollen nose and a bruised left cheek, dried blood crusted over my nostrils, and red tangled veins laced the whites of my eyes. Now, maybe that explains your dis-ease, Mr. Dean. Should have seen the other guy, I said, my joke going nowhere fast. Am I in trouble or something? Well, now, that is a loaded question. He set down the mirror and leaned back. You've been sent here for safekeeping and perhaps a bit of remediation. Yeah, about that. I touched my nose and then my eye, searching for the tender spots. About that, where exactly am I? I mean, what school is this? How did I get here? Welcome to New Stanton Prep, Mr. Dean. Dr. Vine stood and reached for his cane. But what about... Pointing toward the door, he smiled like a serpent, his eyes flashing yellow. Not an easy school to get into, he said. But we have you now. Never fear. As I turned to go, a red-headed woman in a green dress stood waiting for me. She smiled, and I noticed a golden caduceus on her lapel. I know, big word, caduceus. But you've seen it your whole life. It's the medical symbol of two snakes twisting up a pole topped with wings. Nurse Sonia, see that Harold gets cleaned up and then take him to Mr. Charles for his interview. Okay, Mr. Bruiser, this way. The woman gestured, her red nails like beacon fires, pointing down the dim, flickering hallway. Let's get you taken care of. 2. Nurse Sonia stared into my face as she wiped away blood and crust, examining each bruise with green-eyed intent and tender cotton ball care. Well, Mr. Bruiser, looks like you got yourself into a real tangle. Exactly what happened? Wait, don't tell me. You asked out the wrong girl? I don't know what happened, I said. She put her supplies away in a flurry of clicks and snaps. My band was playing this Halloween dance. I wasn't even dressed like this. I had on a trench coat and nothing but, well, never mind. Last thing I remember, this girl, she had a camera and wanted to take my picture. I knew it. I just knew it, Nurse Sonia said with a shake of her auburn hair. No, nothing like that. The girl just took my picture, and the flash was like lightning or something. So strange, like the flash cracked me open and let something out or in. I don't know. Hard to explain. Now I'm here, wherever this is, whoever you are, and that principal. Do you want the good news or the bad? Nurse Sonia asked. Is there a difference today? Yeah, good question, she said, guiding me toward the mirror above a stainless steel sink. I don't know either. It gets really confusing around here at times, but my advice is not to have more to do with Dr. Vine than necessary. Mr. Charles, the counselor, now he's a good guy. Do I know you or something? I feel like I know you from somewhere. Running her hands across my jacket, she said, and the good news is, you'll live, I think. That doesn't really answer my question. Answers mine. Nurse Sonia smiled. Somehow, I wasn't sure she was actually happy. 3. Mr. Dean, I'm here to help, Mr. Charles said as I entered his small windowless office, which resembled something more like a roadside attraction than a counseling center. Comic book style pictures plastered the walls, skateboarders, guitars, a man in a black suit staring into a mushroom cloud. Behind him, a red neon sign buzzed, point A to point B. A dusty gumball machine sat in the corner, the kind with a big silver dial that gave out prizes instead of candy. Welcome, he said, and extended a hand toward an empty chair. Sit, please. His slate gray eyes lifted, looking past me to Nurse Sonia, who stood in the hall just beyond the door. Dr. Vine wants an initial interview, she said. The usual, I guess. She drummed her fingernails on the metal door jamb. He looks a bit rough, but despite the bumps, Mr. Bruiser here is fit to be enrolled. Good luck to both of you, especially you, Chaz. Always caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. Mr. Charles leaned way back and locked his hands behind his head. You know what old Petro would say, don't you? For a second, I swear, The Saturn-like pin in the middle of his tie pulsed red, like glowed on its own without reflecting any light at all. "Of course," Sonia said, and I could literally hear her smile the same unhappy smile she gave me in the sickbay. "Where would you rather be?" Who could forget that? "Exactly," Mr. Charles said, arching even farther back under his neon sign. "The real question is, where is he now?" Nurse Sonia said. "Exactly." This routine was so typical. Teachers have this way of talking around things in front of students, hinting at more than what's said, like little inside jokes meant to leave everyone on the outskirts of the real story. And I'd just be willing to bet some of those teachers didn't even know the real story themselves, but simply played along, all nods and winks and goofy smiles. Reminded me of a book I read where a teenage kid goes around and calls all the adults phony. But that's not even it, really. In my book, if I ever write one, everyone will be a phony right down to little babies, right down to whoever I am. Nurse Sonia's heels clicked away down the hall, and Mr. Charles leaned forward into the desk, placing his chin on two closed fists, the skin of his clean-shaven face pockmarked and texturized by ancient acne. He waited silently without moving until a metallic clang reverberated in the distance. "Mr. Charles," I finally said after waiting a small eternity, "I'm glad you're here to help because, honestly, I don't know where I am and I don't know how I got here." "Interesting." He lifted one finger to the neon sign above his head. A smile stretched across his bumpy face. "Well, Mr. Dean, New Stanton Prep specializes in getting people from point A to point B." "Yeah, but the point is, Mr. Dean, you're here because you lost the point," Mr. Charles said, returning to his chin-resting pose. "You fell through the cracks and in between. But don't worry, we all have in one way or another, I'm afraid, and trying to keep track of points is useless to begin with. There are more than you can even count between A and B, let alone between A and Z or whatever." "You're the school counselor, right? Or did I miss something?" "I don't like the term counselor. Sure, I do those types of things, but I prefer concierge. Much more elegant, don't you think? I'm here to help." "Well, help me understand where I am and how I get back home, if you don't mind." "First things first," Mr. Charles said, as he began rifling through his desk drawers, producing a shower of comic books and odd pens and quite a few keys on plastic motel fobs. "1 second, please." And then he withdrew a long clipboard from some nether region nook and selected a light greenish-blue fob from the pile on his desk. Picking up one of the odd pens, he clicked it and then licked the point. "Yes, now, the initial interview." "Interview? Just a formality, and then we'll get you on your way," Mr. Charles said. "Now." New Stanton Prep 1, 2, and 3 was included in Season 2, Episode 10 of the Atomic Voodoo Lounge podcast. If you liked what you heard, please visit atomicvoodoolounge.com or search the Atomic Voodoo Lounge on your favorite podcast app or service. Thanks for listening, and please spread the word about the Atomic Voodoo Lounge's mix of speculative noir poetry, fiction, and spoken word. In addition to the words, the AVL also has the beat. We play a variety of mood-inducing music, including surf, exotica, jazz, blues, and more. Copyright 2026 by Heavy Sixer Productions, LLC. All rights reserved. And remember, AtomicVoodooLounge.com.